Hey there, it's Imran and you're watching Imran Plus. Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about Top Gun Maverick. This is the biggest film of the year and is currently sitting at a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes. I had seen the film a little while ago and I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it myself. After watching it, I thought about it and I have been thinking about it and I've been seeing it do so well in theaters that I decided to make a video talking about why this film works and why it works so well for so many people. So welcome to my spoiler review and discussion of Top Gun Maverick. Now if you haven't seen the film yet, go ahead and pause this video, watch the movie, and then come back so that we can discuss this film with all of its spoilers. Before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure you click that subscribe button so you can help this channel grow and so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Alright, let's get started. Of course, the biggest reason for success for Top Gun Maverick is its star, the one and only Tom Cruise, who despite his crazy antics and ties to Scientology, proves with this movie that he is a true movie star. Tom Cruise has built a strong box office reputation over the years, particularly through his Mission Impossible franchise, and that reputation has positioned himself as a reliable old friend for many people at the box office because fans of Cruise always know what to expect: a good quality film and a good time. And Top Gun Maverick is no exception to that. And in fact, this film solidifies his reputation at the box office. Tom Cruise films are consistent. He even brings his signature element to this film, and that is performing his own stunts. In fact, Cruise designed a unique 3-month boot camp to train actors with flying roles to get used to the aerobatics and high G forces and to build the spatial awareness they would need to operate camera equipment while flying their planes. And that's because these actors were essentially directing themselves in the air. And so they had to learn lighting, cinematography, and editing to properly run the cameras. Director Joseph Kosinski has revealed that the crew spent more than a year with Navy forces to develop a way for IMAX cameras to fit inside the cockpit. And as a result, the audience is able to experience every strain, speed, and gravitational force that the characters do. These cutting-edge technologies and crazy over-the-top techniques are what you can expect only from a Tom Cruise film. And that's what makes people show up to the theater for each one of his films consistently. But it's not just gimmicks that make Tom Cruise and his films so successful. The acting from Cruise and his cast always delivers consistently as well. Even in Top Gun Maverick, the supporting cast does exactly what they need to do in order to bring each character to life and for us to relate to them. Miles Teller and Glenn Powell especially are really engaging and compelling characters that are determined and driven to be the best that they can be. So mix that fierce competition with the nostalgia of Val Kilmer returning as Iceman and a new romantic interest in Jennifer Connelly as Penny, and you have the perfect mix of talented actors that deliver a compelling story in the midst of such intense action. Speaking of nostalgia, this film is a sequel to one of the biggest movies of the 80s. How could you possibly make a sequel to a film 36 years later? Well, it seems by embracing that time has passed while celebrating the elements that made the first film so iconic and memorable for so many people. Top Gun Maverick manages to include familiar beats and moments from the original Top Gun without being derivative. The iconic shot of Maverick on his motorcycle speeding next to a jet taking off was recreated so well here, and the original soundtrack was also subtle but effective and used during the right moments, like when we first meet Iceman and also when he later passes away. Also, the bar scene featuring Miles Teller's rooster singing was a great callback to the original Top Gun and the bar scene in that movie, as well as a great character moment with Maverick looking on in the window. We also have a football scene on the beach which calls back to the iconic volleyball scene in the original film. And there's a new love interest that is still canon and referential to the original film. As a result, this film feels modern yet familiar. It harkens back to old memories while being very focused on the present and the future with a new class of pilots. Maverick being called back to Top Gun to teach a new class of pilots, I thought was a brilliant idea and a great setup for this movie because it was also the perfect way to bring in Rooster, Goose's son, as an emotional conflict for Maverick as one of his students. Both characters love what they do and are very driven, but are forced to be around each other and work together despite their differences. This makes for a strong emotional through line that is culminated in a satisfying resolution in the third act that we'll talk more about in a moment. I do want to talk about Maverick's relationship with Iceman, and I was really happy to see Val Kilmer return, and I really enjoyed their scene together, especially when he does speak, because that really underscored what he was trying to communicate to Maverick. It was just a few lines, but they were made very effective by his delivery and the fact that this was the one time that we heard him speak. Maverick and Penny's relationship was also really nice, and I liked having Jennifer Connelly play the role as a contemporary to Tom Cruise, who accepts his age in this film, which is a first really for the actor, and in doing so, Tom Cruise is able to bring a vulnerability and emotional heart to the story because Maverick is also made keenly aware of his age and perhaps some of the regrets and missed opportunities that have come and gone. Another reason why this movie works so well is because it really has a perfect plot. Now, the film is undeniably a part of the military entertainment complex, which is a means for US military propaganda. There's no question about that, it's openly documented, and whether that's a good thing or bad thing is up to you to decide. However, by making the enemy in this film an unnamed enemy and not referencing any specific foreign country or group of people, allows this film to broaden its appeal and audience without falling into any racist stereotypes or portrayals. As a result, anyone from any background really can come in and watch this movie and not really feel directly threatened or offended by the film's plot. This film instead is about its characters and the cool action scenes with the planes rather than the political and geographical enemies of the United States. And whether you like it or not, I do believe that this is a major reason why this film has performed this well. It avoids any direct political discussions, references, or divisions. And the focus instead is an impossible flight mission that no one has ever flown before. And the movie does a good job of raising the stakes throughout the film without, again, focusing on the enemy, but instead its own team and the difficulty of the mission. And of course, Maverick, without permission, comes in and successfully flies the course. But what really sells this mission, both in the training sequences and the actual mission in the third act, are the visual cues and the flight path on the computers. The flight path itself is really easy to follow. We have a narrow valley, then a mountain, a deep valley where the target lies, and then a steep mountain. This film is very clever to always include a computer screen that visualizes this path and also where each pilot is within that path. This, combined with us going over the flight path over and over again in the training montages, makes the actual mission in the third act very easy to follow and thus more engaging. We know the path and we know the plan and we know what needs to happen when, which puts us directly in the action with the pilots. This makes the action thrilling and on the edge of your seat entertainment, which honestly is sometimes lacking in blockbuster films. Sure, these films might have big moments and big reveals, but they don't quite have the adrenaline pumping action and visuals that Top Gun Maverick has. I think what really seals the deal for this film is the third act being such an unpredictable surprise. I honestly thought that they might have killed off Maverick when his plane gets taken down as a way to sacrifice himself for Rooster, but I was really surprised and invested when that wasn't the case and that Rooster comes back to save him, and then both of them are stuck on land without a plane. And then somehow they're able to find an old F-14 and fly out of there, but not before having to dogfight with 5th generation pilots and fighters, which by the way, were really cool in my opinion. I thought those, I can see why people want to have those in their arsenal because those planes were really awesome. So the fact that we were so unsure about the fate of any character made this film worth watching and made every minute captivating. Of course, we get a happy ending with Maverick ending up with Penny and reconciling with Rooster. It's an ending that makes you content with what you've experienced. So overall, this movie is what makes a perfect blockbuster. A charismatic lead with a talented cast, a nostalgic or at least cozy setting, an inventive plot and storyline, and an ending that pays off the emotional beats in a satisfying way. And that's why Top Gun Maverick is doing so well at the box office. And also why I suspect that it will probably do well during award season as well, at least in the technical categories. But I really feel that Tom Cruise might have a strong campaign for an acting nomination. But overall, this was a great film. I had a good time, which I was surprised about. Let me know what you all thought of this film. Did you watch it? What did you think? How many times did you watch it? And if you haven't seen it yet, why not? What are you waiting for? Do you plan on seeing it on streaming? I really think it fits the big screen and it is really a movie worthy of the theater. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great time. Lots more videos coming soon, but in the meantime, make sure you like this video and subscribe. Click the bell icon so you don't miss any upcoming videos, and don't forget to share this video with your friends and fellow movie enthusiasts. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.